Hello, everyone.
Hello
Welcome.
and hello guys. I am here in campus party today and SouJava in the campus. I see we stage jobs and more later we start talks about career in stage jobs. And look, this event is amazing and it's very well. Look, all right, but here. And today um, we have a great friendly, Rafael, start a conversation with Stan about career, and they have a good lessons. I recommend that you give it a great attentions for this talk. All right, and Maximilian, you have things for talk.
Yeah, I must. I did. I'd like to say that I'm so happy to be here. I help. I hope that you are enjoying this talk. This talk will be amazing. Rafael Del Nero is our reference in the Java world. So I will bring here right now, and come in,
Hello,
Rafael.
everyone. I'm really happy
Okay.
to be here and looking forward to be helping the Java community and everyone that is watching this talk.
Yeah. So I will be on a backstage. So I will. Well, let's Rafael control the show. Am I right?
Yes, Rafael,
Oh,
this stage is for you. Uh, and it's just funny.
Okay, thank you, guys. Let's get started then. Um, I'm gonna, yeah, so my screen is there. You can see it. Talking about the 10 golden lessons that will boost your software development career. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So briefly here, we're going to be discussing about why it's important to dream big, why it's important to take responsibility, why you should be responsible for everything that happens in your life. I'm going to be talking about having a mentor, um, why this is important, and why having a mentor will um, boost your career very quickly. Hacking your health, because without health, we can't do really anything. So, um, another very important thing is to have focus, because without focus, you just do everything, and in the end, you learn nothing. Tracking your goals. Why? Because if you do um, things and if you accomplish many things um, without tracking your goals, you you don't feel you're having progress. So that's why it's so important to track your goals, work smart and hard, optimize your time, deliberate practicing, take action. We're gonna go much deeper on into those topics, and let's go then to the first one: dream big. So why not dream big? Um, Sometimes I know that people might think, oh, but dream big is difficult. Dream big is very, um, and it might be, but if you don't dream big and if you don't um, if you don't strive for better things in your life, you're gonna regret very probably. So the best thing you can do is to do your best to achieve whatever you want, right? So, but there's also the other situation that sometimes you don't know what is your dream exactly. So what you can do to figure this out, you can reflect about yourself, um, and how can you do that? You can, for example, a walk, um, preferably in nature, because naturally we just stay calmer when we are walking in nature. I think this is important exercise. You can also take some notes. Maybe you can take some notes on your notebook, or even on your computer, and then you can get this clarity from what you want exactly. And another question you have to make to you um, is to say, why not you? Um, if other people achieved amazing things, it means that it is possible. Of course, there will be some work, there will be some steps and strategies you have to do, but why not you, right? Um, Very important to be specific about your dreams, because if you have many dreams and if you try to talk to achieve all of them, chances are that you won't get any of them, because a dream is, it's a long-term goal, it's something difficult to achieve. um, and a very practical example of a dream is to maybe get your dream job abroad in another country, um, a job in Europe, or in the US, or even in Brazil. Um, you can get an amazing job for an amazing company, big companies, and it's not easy to get a job on those companies. So this could be considered a dream as well. And another thing that's important to mention here is that my dream might not be necessarily your dream. So you don't need to achieve my dreams in the same. I don't need to achieve your dreams. You need to achieve the dream that is meaningful for you. So you have to figure out, okay, what is important for yourself. So that's crucial for you. Otherwise, you will be achieving the dreams of someone else. The second step is taking responsibility. I know that it's very easy to take responsibility when you are successful. When you're successful, you tend to say, oh, because of me that I am successful. And then when bad things happen to you, then you don't take responsibility. And that's a mistake, because when something tough happened to you, or when something that's challenging, and if you don't take responsibility, what's going to happen is that you're never going to grow. So I know it's tough, but uh, when something that when things go in the way that you weren't planning, it's important for you to take responsibility, because if you blame someone else, if you blame external factors, what's going to happen is that you have no power to change, you have no power to grow. So it's important for you to say, like, if anything happened in my life, whether it is successful thing or a failure, you have to take responsibility, and you have to say, okay, where was my mistake here? What actions can I take to improve that? And then once you do that consistently, then you grow. And again, it won't be easy. There will be days that you really don't want to do the right thing for your growth, um, but it will be also crucial for you to do that. Um, and be solution oriented, because sometimes um, a lot of problems will happen to you, and instead of focusing on those problems, instead of talking about the problems and focusing only on those problems, you can be solution oriented. So you can think, okay, I have this problem, how can I solve that? How, what small action I can take? Another mistake that people do very often is, when they have a challenge, when they have a problem, they try to overwhelm themselves with multiple impossible actions. Instead of overwhelming yourself, you can take small actions, and these will build up. And the more actions you take to achieve whatever you want, the better you get. So it's very crucial for you to not blame others. And we don't uh, we don't just blame others. We blame also our past. Sometimes we blame our education. We say, "Oh, my education was not good." But what you can do regarding your, if you're doing interviews, I'm gonna just give you an example. If you're doing interviews abroad and the interviews are too difficult, and you blame your past, if you blame your education from the past, this means that you are giving your power away to your past. Therefore, you are powerless. So you have to be careful because um, when you don't take responsibility, um, it's very difficult to achieve your dreams or to go to the next level in your career or in your life. Have a mentor, so important. Um, I I had a I have a mentor, Bruno Souza, and he helped me massively to get where I am and to be a better software engineer and a better person. And like I had exponential growth working with him. Um, and you can do the same. You can find a mentor who got what you want. Then you gain time. Your vision will be expanded and you grow exponentially. So why it's important to have a mentor? It's because then you save tons of time. You save 15, 20, 30 years, I don't know. You save a lot of time in your career. You just go much faster because you don't need to go uh, in different ways in your career. You just go straight. You go straight because once you are aligned with your mentor, with your objectives, then you just have to take the actions that will take you there. So that's why it's so important to have a mentor. Um, so I highly recommend every one of you to find your mentor. Um, it doesn't need to be Bruno, doesn't need to be me. Um, it can be even a friend of yours. But it's important for you to have a mentor and so that your mentor will help you exponentially for you to achieve your um, career dreams. Hack your health. So why health is so important? Well, because without health, we can't do really anything, right? You can work your whole life, you can achieve amazing things, you can build an empire, but if you have no health, it means that you won't be able to enjoy anything. So you won't be able to travel, you won't be able to have a pleasurable day. Um, you won't have much to do. So that's why it's so important to have a good health. So what can you do with that? Like have a reasonable nutrition. Like if you eat junky food more than 3 times a week, that's a big problem because this will affect your productivity. This will affect your mood. Uh, this will also uh, affect. It will affect your health basically. So have a reasonable nutrition. Like you don't need to have a crazy diet. Um, eating only I don't know only vegetables or only fruits, but have a balanced diet like um, where you can eat some fruits, some vegetables. If you eat meat, you can eat meat. Um, but the point is to avoid junky food as much as you can and do exercise at least 3 times a week. And you don't need to do boring things because I know that going to the gym is boring. You can you can play some kind of sport. You can play football, you can play tennis, you can play I don't know, even hockey if you want, or you can dance, you can do a martial art, um, you can go to yoga. There's so many things you can do to um, improve your health, and that's so important because when you do exercises, when you have a good nutrition, you even get sharper as a software engineer. Why? Because when you do exercises, your body releases a lot of hormones, a lot of good substances that will increase, that will even make your neuron connections faster, which will help you to be a sharper software engineer and a sharper learner. And as you know, as a software engineer, we have to learn constantly. So if you do exercises, if you have a reasonable nutrition, that will make a big difference. And preferably, if you can do exercise in the morning, that's the best because if you do the exercise in the morning, you're gonna get all the benefits for around 16 hours. Um, And there is another component when you do exercises that there is um, a scientific discovery that when we do exercises, uh, actually more of the aerobic exercises you release with DNF that, as I said before, it will make your neural connections faster. Therefore, you're gonna be a sharper learner. So if you can do exercises in the morning, it's gonna also set up the whole day for you in in a great way. Um, and I think it's pretty much that about health. So health is very important. So health should be your top priority. It should be on the top of everything because, like I said, without health, nothing else matters because you can't even live if you don't have enough health. So it should be your top priority. And of course, like if you do exercises, if you have like good food, you're gonna even fit. You're gonna even feel more confident and like you're gonna be more fit. You're gonna be able to walk longer, to run. Um, you're gonna be stronger as well. So there's a lot of benefits, lots of benefits, not only for your body but for your mind. So it's extremely important. And like my personal training, like it's I have a very balanced diet. I try to drink 2 liters of water every day. You don't need to drink 2 liters if you don't want to. You can drink 1 liter. You can do that bit by bit. Um, and what I do, I also hack my time. I When I go to the gym, I listen to an audiobook. So that's a good habit to have. I've been listening to books for more than 3 years, and I could read, I don't know, maybe more than 150 books. So that's a lot, right? So track your goals. So why it's important to track your goals? Because if you're studying, if you're doing anything, if you're working towards a goal, if you don't measure that, what's going to happen is that you're probably going to get demotivated. So one great thing that you can do to uh, get dopamine, that is the motivation hormone, you can use Pomodoro or you can use maybe the Forest app. I have Forest app that um, basically you can capture how much time you've been working towards your goals. And that's great because if you know that, okay, I've been working on, let's suppose you want the Java certification. I've been working the Java certification for 100 hours or 200, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Um, but it's important for you to, the point here is that it's important for you to keep a track of your goals, and it's important for you to time yourself. For example, the Pomodoro technique is basically a timer. It's a 25 minutes timer. And the point on those during those 25 minutes is that you can't look at your social media, you can't look um, at your TV, you can't look somewhere else. You have to focus on your work. And that's amazing because when you focus on your work, you save a lot of time because a focused work, like 1 hour of focused work, is much better than 3 hours of non focused work. So that's why it's so important for you to use the Pomodoro technique because when you put the timer, you are focused on your work, you get things done. And another important concept here to be consistent is to do things even when you don't feel like it. This is difficult, but it pays off. So it's worth it. Trello is basically a board. Uh, like you probably use board when you are working as a software engineer. Um, so it's kind of a Kanban. So you put your task on the to do block, doing, and then you put on doing, then you put on done. And that's good because if you have those kind of tasks management, then you can then you're going to release dopamine, basically. That is the motivation hormone. And the more dopamine you get, the easier it is for you to get more things done. And one other very important thing is to not look at your cell phone during the morning. Why? Because every time you look at your cell phone, dopamine is released in your brain. So, and when you consume a lot of dopamine before getting things done, what happens is that you have motivation to do your stuff. So be careful. Social media, emails, all of those things, WhatsApp, uh, will take out your dopamine and will take out your motivation. So be careful with that. I recommend you to not look at your cell phone at least um, until 1 hour after you wake up. That's a very good practice because then you can work towards your goals during this first hour of your day. Or you can do exercises, or you can do something that will contribute for your growth, uh, not for your dopamine destruction. Okay, and of course, by doing that, you're far more likely to get your goals done consistently. So have focus. Why have focus? Because if you have too many plans, what usually happens is that we get overwhelmed and we do nothing. So it's better for you to focus on one thing that's meaningful for you instead of focusing on many things that makes no sense in the end. So if you focus on too many things, you will end up not doing anything very well. So it's better for you to focus on one thing that is meaningful for you. So if gonna can give you an example, if you are uh, working towards having your Java certification, you should have a you could have a plan to study the Java concepts, and it's better for you to focus on the Java certification. And if you have too many plans, if you are focusing on the Java certification, on the Azure certification, or on whatever other certification, your chances are that it's going to be more difficult for you to get any of those certifications. So it's better for you to choose one, you focus on that one, and then you get it. And I'm gonna give you another example. Let's suppose you want to uh, work on Google or on Facebook or Amazon. If you want to work on those companies, you probably know that they will ask you for algorithms um, knowledge and also system design. So if you are if your objective is to work on those big companies, you should be very good in algorithms, data structures, big O notations. You should be very good with system design. Um, and of course, there are some strategies you can do to get better on those topics. So it depends on your goal in the end. So what do you want? Do you want to get a Java certification? Do you want to get a job in a big company? What is your goal exactly? Depends on your goal. The point here is that you should focus on one thing that's meaningful for you. Otherwise, many plans uh, lead you to no action because it's overwhelming. It's impossible to learn everything. So learn only what you need. Uh, let's suppose, like, and this is even more true nowadays because we are working with microservices. So with microservices, it means that you build your own architecture. Sometimes you have to collect business requirements. You have to with your team. Sometimes you have to even break down your tasks. So you have to do kind of everything. Like in many companies, I know that this is not the reality, in some companies, but in many companies nowadays, this is the reality because we changed the um, our paradigm. So now we are in working with microservices. So the concept of ownership is very ingrained in this new culture. So um, in that case, when you're working with microservices, you're going to have to work with many new technologies. You're going to have to, for example, learn uh, maybe event-driven architecture, or we're going to have to learn queues. We're going to have to learn a little bit about concurrency or about scaling. So you're going to have to learn all of those things, right? So in this situation, you can use the just-in-time learning technique, which means that you can learn that at the time that you get a task, because it's so normal to get a new thing when you're working with microservices that um, there's no point for you to be willing to go deep into all of those technologies. There's no point. If you do that, you're gonna just waste your time. So use your time wisely. I would recommend every software engineer to, instead of learning tools, instead of learning a lot of frameworks, instead of learning all of those crazy things, that's all of those shiny toys, learn the fundamentals. Because if you learn the fundamentals, you're gonna be able to learn those tools far more quickly, and then you won't be wasting your time learning tons of tools. Instead, you learn the fundamentals, you get sharp on that, and then you learn things quicker. And there is a special gift for you. So stay tuned for more. Work smart and hard. What does that mean? So I'm gonna give you a practical situation. So if you work hard in one thing that doesn't make any sense for you, what's gonna happen is that it's useless, right? Let's suppose you are learning German for some reason. If you never use this skill, it's a useless skill, right? You just put your time there to learn this language, but you don't even know where to use it. My point is that uh, if you learn something just to learn, just for knowledge, it doesn't matter. You have to learn something so that you can apply this knowledge, so that you can use this knowledge, because knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only power if you can use this knowledge. So be extra careful on the things that you are learning. Um, and when I say about working smart, is to learn something meaningful or to take the action that is meaningful for you. Because if you work only hard on something that will not take you to your objectives, it doesn't matter how hard you are working, all the work will be wasted. So think very carefully before taking an action and decide what you're going to be doing. And then if you work smart towards your goals, it's better than work hard on something that doesn't make any sense. But working only smart might not be enough. You have to work smart and hard. So it doesn't mean that you have to work like 16 hours a day. It means that like working hard and smart is basically to be consistent, because to be consistent is hard. Because like I said, there will be days that you don't want to do the thing that you decided to do, and those days are the most important days for you to be consistent. um, so that's the balance about being working smart and hard. um, and working hard here, yeah, like I said, is basically the idea of being consistent. So if you can work towards your goals at least, I don't know, 1 hour a day, or if you don't have much time, 30 minutes a day, or if 30 minutes too much to you, 15 minutes. If 15 minutes too much, 5 minutes a day. You can apply those techniques, because this is a kind of a brain hack. Because if you tell yourself that you're gonna do work only for 5 minutes, um, you can do 5 minutes. You don't need to force yourself. But the thing is that some days when you do 5 minutes, you're gonna say, "Oh, I want to continue this work," and you're gonna continue the work. So what's gonna happen is that those 5 minutes will probably become more than 5 minutes. And this is a brain hack. You can use that. If you feel that 1 hour to you to work towards your dreams is too much, tell yourself it's 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. If I don't feel like going further than that, it's okay. I won't go. But if you feel like going further than 5 minutes, you go more than 5 minutes. Then you get things done, and uh, you can write a book in 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day, you can do amazing things. So 5 minutes much better than nothing. Eight, optimize your time. So I told you a little bit how I do this technique. When I go to the gym or when I commute to work, I listen to books. Um, and that helps me massively on my English. So every single book I listen is in English. And every single content I consume is in English. Like the vast majority of the content I consume is in English. So those things help me to improve my fluency, and this is a technique you can use as well. Uh, you can read so many books, and it's not only that. Of course, I get to listen books that are really really powerful, that expanded my view to be a better person, and you can do the same. I listen a lot of personal development books. Um, I listen some technical books, but I usually prefer to read technical books because you're gonna see a lot of code. You can also listen to podcasts. They are so good. There are so many good tech podcasts. Um, that it's okay if you want to listen, if you want to mix both. But in my opinion, books are still more powerful than podcasts. In every book, you can have an amazing insight that will help you with your goals and in your career. Sometimes when you have too many things to do, you can use your money to optimize your time. So, for example, if you are working in a project and you have no time to clean your house, for example, maybe you can pay someone else to clean your house, um, or you want a design for your book, you can hire a designer instead of yourself spending, I don't know, more than 20 hours to build a design, and in the end it won't be even that good. So it's good for you to use your money to optimize your time. Like, of course, if you are working into many things, that's useful. Otherwise, if you are just studying, I think, like, well, it depends on your situation, but you can use this technique as well. Discover the power of deliberate practicing. So what is deliberate practicing? It's what top software engineers do, and not only top software engineers. Um, it's also what world-class football players, basketball players, they all use the same technique. And what is this? It is a way to practice their craft in a strategic way. So, for example, a football player can uh, kick the ball to the goal, I don't know, 1,000 times a day, until it's so natural to this football player that um, the football player gets very 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 sharp at that skill. And the same thing with programmers and software engineers. um, One very simple example I can give you to be a sharper software engineer is to practice algorithms, because with algorithms you become a better problem solver. You learn coding techniques, you learn how to optimize your code. um, you can even practice your clean code skills. So there are many things you can practice there. um, you're going to be better for interviews. That will help you on interviews. So I'm just giving you an example. It depends again, depends on your goals. So it's in my opinion, it's better to focus on the fundamentals, because if you are sharp on the fundamentals, you can learn the superficial things more quickly, because the superficial things in the end they are just based on the fundamentals. So if you learn the fundamentals, it means that you have the basis to learn something else more quickly. And again, guys, proficiency will never be achieved overnight. Proficiency will be achieved over time. It will be achieved with your consistency. Um, that's the only way. So if you want to get really good, really sharp with algorithms, data structures, big O notations, again, this is just an example. It could be anything else, but I'm gonna just gonna give you an example of algorithms. If you want to get proficient on algorithms, you're gonna have to practice like maybe once, no, like maybe every day of the week or 3 times a week. It's gonna have to be consistent, because it's a lot to learn. And there's a lot of brain connections you have to build to be better in algorithms and programming. So the more problems you solve, the more connections you're going to generate in your brain, and which means that you're going to be faster to to solve an algorithm, for example. And this is the same for any other skill. If you want to give a talk, um, the more talks you give, the easier it gets, the more comfortable you get. If you want to give a talk in English, you can practice to give a talk in English. In the beginning, it will be difficult, because you just have to accept that every new skill you are learning, you're gonna suck in the beginning, and that's okay. If you are able to accept that, this is a very important step, because many people doesn't have the guts to accept that. Therefore, they don't take action, and as a consequence, they never grow. So if you accept the fact that you're gonna suck in the beginning, but even still you go forward and you push forward that, then you're gonna do great. You're gonna grow. It's just inevitable. The more you do, if you don't get demotivated, if you don't give up, you're gonna get better. So whatever you're doing, whatever you think it makes sense for you, keep doing it. Take action. So everything I told here, guys, um, all of those things are meaningless if you don't take action. Action uh, is what makes your life change. So um, well, there are many actions you can take to improve your career. So you can take strategic action towards your objectives. So what could that be? It could be to find a mentor, or it could be to study something more strategically to get where you want. And to yeah, it could be to send a CV to a company you want, or to send a CV to a company abroad, anything you want. So you have to take an action. Without action, nothing happens. And do the thing, even if you don't feel prepared. And that's very important. That's very connected to courage. And without you can't do anything. So it's very important for you. Like if you don't have skill, if you don't have anything else, but you have courage, the courage will get you. Like your skills will get you. Like you're gonna get the skills, because if you have the courage to take the action, to take the step, um, then you can accomplish whatever you want, right? So um, it's very important for you to do it even if you don't feel prepared, because by doing it, like it's a paradox here, right? The only way for you to feel prepared is if you do it. So you do it first, even if you don't feel prepared, and then you need courage, right? You need courage to do things that you don't feel prepared. And if you do, congratulations for you, because that's the way to growth. And many people don't do that. They don't have the guts. they don't have the courage to feel to face rejection or to face critics. And if you have the guts to face critics and face rejection, congratulations for you, because you have the courage to to get and to achieve your dreams. So that's the way. Like with courage, you can get whatever you want. Because the other thing, skills, or how much our confidence or everything there. If you take the courage first to do the thing, it's far more risky to not take any risk. And that's another paradox. Um, Sometimes people think that they are secure in their companies, they get comfortable, they work with boring technologies, they don't grow technically, they don't grow in any other area. And if they stay there for 10 years and suddenly the company decides, oh, that's it, we went bankrupt, and then they fire everyone. What's going to happen with this developer that was comfortable? What's going to happen is that this developer will have to do a huge amount of work to get another job because this developer was comfortable in his or her position. So um, it's very important for you to be always looking for more knowledge outside of your work, because um, we can't subestimate we can't underestimate the power of studying. The more you study, um, the better you get ahead if you study. And I know this is very obvious even more in our area of software development, but if you study in a very strategic way, you get ahead in the game. So uh, basically, take risks. So if you see a nice company that works with cutting edge technologies that you are interested in learning, send a CV, try it out. What you don't want is to be comfortable, because um, it's not safe to stay in a company that you do the boring thing, because you never know, like tomorrow or someday, uh, the company bankrupt, or they might fire people all of the sudden. So it's very good for you to always be employable, to know what is the game um, in the market. uh, for example, I can give you an example of the game here in Europe. The game here is basically algorithms and system design. So you have to play the game, you have to know algorithms and system design. If you don't know them, it's very difficult, right? You have to know the game in the country you want to work. I don't know what are the game rules exactly now in Brazil, but you have to figure this out. You have to figure this out. And if you are looking for jobs in Europe, I'm just gonna let you know that you're gonna need to know, of course, object-oriented programming, algorithms, system design, uh, clean code, code design. So a lot of stuff. Um, so basically, you figure out what actions make sense to you, figure out where you want to go, because then you can take meaningful actions. Don't take meaningless actions. First, have a think, like think about what you want. And again, guys, you don't need to create a crazy plan, a very complex plan. You need something to get you going, something that will get you motivated, right? So create a plan right now. You can write in a paper, or you can write on your Google Doc, whatever you want. You can write there some simple plan, some very simple actions, some simple goals, or maybe you can even go further. You can write a challenging goal that could be called as a dream, right? So once you do that, then um, you you make your thoughts concrete. That's very important, because if you just keep your thoughts in your head, difficult to make it happen. So take this simple action. Write it down what you want. for the next year or for the next couple of years, because then you have a direction, then you have a plan, and then you're gonna know roughly what actions you can take. Okay, let's recap here. The first thing is to dream big, because if you don't dream big, you can't get much. So if you dream big, you're gonna be far more motivated. You're gonna take actions to grow as a person and in your career. Take responsibility. What does that mean? It means that you shouldn't blame others, you shouldn't blame external factors, you should blame yourself. You should blame yourself for success and failure. Because if you blame yourself for those two things, it means that you have power. You're not giving your power away to someone else. Have a mentor. If you have a mentor, uh, your mentor will guide you far more quickly to get what you want. Hack your health. Uh, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that you need to do crazy diet or need to do exercise 7 days a week. It means that you can have a balanced diet. You can do aerobic exercises like running. You can run. You can do a martial art. You can play sport. Anything that make you happy. You can even dance. Uh, like whatever you prefer. Like have a plan to do exercises and have a balanced uh, um, food, and have focus, because if you try to do everything, what's going to happen is that you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to do nothing. So have a focus. um, Track your goals. How can you track your goals? You can use Pomodoro. There is a website, pomodoro.com. I don't remember exactly the URL, but you can put Pomodoro on Google, and then you can find this tool, and it's very useful because then you can focus at your work, and this saves you tons of time. And work smart and hard, because if you work only hard, you might be doing something that's meaningless. So it's better for you to do something that um, is connected to your dreams and your goals, but at the same time it has to be consistent, because if you do the smart work only once, it doesn't matter. You have to be consistent. So, and optimize your time. um, so for example, whenever you go to the gym or whenever you go to commute to your work, let's suppose you commute to work 2 hours a day. If you sum up, if you sum these numbers towards the year, like you're gonna you're gonna notice that you might be wasting a lot of time. So why not to listen to a great book during your commuting, or during the time you're going to the gym, or during the time you are uh, doing some task that doesn't demand you a lot of brain power. And deliberate practicing. Every world class player do that. Football players, top basketball players, they are not top players because of nothing. It's because they are very strategic on their skills, and they practice their skills deliberately. They they're very they're very focused as well. So this makes the whole difference. If you have focus, if you have a strategy, if you do, if you take actions consistently, you're gonna you have uh, a great potential to be a world class engineer as well. Um, and of course, take action, because without action, nothing happens. So you have to have the habit of always taking action whenever you can, right? And I'm gonna give you one opportunity to take action. You can scan this Golden Lessons book, and if you purchase this book now, uh, which is I think it's 399 euro, so it's basically 4 euro, something around um, 19 reais. It's very cheap. If you take this action now, I can give you a free career conversation, a one-to-one conversation, and I can guide you. I can help you elaborate a plan for you in your career to go to the next level, whatever you want. If you want to work abroad, if you want uh, to work in Brazil with a cutting edge technology, um, you can buy the book now, and then um, I can guide you in your career. So take the action now. That's one. Um, that's one opportunity for you to show that you're an action taker, and I can certainly help you to get where you want. Okay, so that's it. Any questions? I can't hear you, Maximilian.
Oh, I I was muted. Okay, so it was amazing presentation, Rafael. We got a question. We got a question from Simon Pedro. Simon Pedro asking, how can I optimize my time with a lot of technology to study?
um, Let me just share the link with the guys here. Maximilian, just a minute, because then it's easier for them
Sure.
to. Can you share with them where all the private chat is here? Gonna send here.
Okay.
Okay, so um, yeah, basically, Simão, you need to focus. Like you have to know where do you want to go. Like what do you want exactly? Do you want another job in Brazil? Do you want another job abroad? I think that's the first question you have to ask you. Because if you want a job in Brazil with a specific technology, for example, uh, what you can do, you can take a look at these companies, what those companies are asking for, what technology they are asking for. Um, because, for example, if they are, oh, I'm just giving an example here, if they are asking for Spring or microservices or AWS knowledge, maybe you can focus on those technologies. But like I said before, it's very important for you to focus on the fundamentals, because if you keep on learning tools and frameworks, um, your learning curve will be always not so good. So, and on the other hand, if you learn fundamentals and you're very sharp in fundamentals, one clear example of fundamentals is algorithms. If you are very sharp in algorithms, you're gonna be able to learn a new programming language far more quickly, because if you see, if you notice under the hoods, all those programming languages are using the same fundamentals, and the fundamentals doesn't work only on the situation. The fundamentals are also very important. Like when you are doing work on the cloud, you're gonna see many networks fundamentals there. Important for you to have an idea of those fundamentals before uh, doing work in the cloud. Or so what I would recommend you, Simão, is to first understand where do you want to go. Uh, like if because if you don't know where you want to go, then you're gonna have to study everything, right? Because there's no way. Like you have to know like where do I want to go? Do I want to go abroad? If you want to go abroad, I'm telling you ahead of time. You have to learn algorithms and system design. Um, um, and but yeah, you have to know like if you can tell me what you want exactly. It depends. It depends on what you want, because like you said, technologies there are millions. There's a new shining toy every day. If you want to learn all of them, well, like I said, it's like working hard. You're gonna work hard towards something that won't bring you any value. So you have to work smart. How can you work smart? You work smart if you know where you are going. That's the only way.
Well, it was amazing. Yeah, yeah. the fundamentals is so important as well. You did right, and according to my experience, we need to pay attention on those things, especially because once we just run on a not shallow, it's something hard to grow up your career to the next level. And well, great tips, man, great tips. I take a note everything, so I will try to follow those things.
Test tips
uh,
is amazing. Test tips working really work a lot. I use the test tips in my life, and oh my god, my life have a great upgrade after using test tips and they put my career.
Amazing, amazing.
It's amazing. It's awesome.
That's really cool, and that's the goal. Like, if I can inspire people to be the best as they can, that's I think that's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, I must thank you, Rafael, for this presentation. It was so it bring us inspiration to keeping working, keeping learning, keeping working ahead. So I must thank you a lot. And it is the first time that we are talking together. Am I right? So it's a honor to talk to you guys. I know that you are a good, that you are a Java champion. So it also inspires everyone in a whole Java world. So, but Java it's a tool. So that's the reason why you are talking about fundamentals. Fundamentals are the same in the both in the all of technologies. So it's amazing. So I must thank you. If you want to say something more, feel free to say that. Am I right? Gabriel, if you want to say something, take yours.
I thanks Rafael for coming to talking. You presentation it's amazing. I hope it inspiration a lot of people because we share a lot a lot channels in YouTube, Java, Java Journey, and channel Maximilian. I forget the name. Sorry, and the Bruno Souza channel. Uh, and she's a presentation. It's how say great light UIs, right? And this is amazing. Thanks, Rafael, for coming to stop. It's
Awesome,
and
awesome. Really glad.
and the sound is very high here, and I'm very confused at the moment.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. You're very kind. I'm very glad that I could be part of the campus party. Unfortunately, I'm not in Brazil. Otherwise, I would be with you. But it's my pleasure. It's. I'm really happy to be here, and I hope to be helped the software engineers. And I wish you guys a great campus party, a great event, and looking forward to talk to you again.
Sorry.
You are muted, Maximilian.
Oh God, again! It's a my microphone is tricked me. Oh God. Oh okay, guys. So have a good event. So feel turn it because we continue our session. Next session will start in a few minutes. So stay tuned. Bye everyone. See you there.
Great.
Bye. I see you.
Bye bye,
Bye
guys. Thank
bye.
you very much.